And in 2 days, that special something is going to happen. Think about it. Let's count. 1, 2. On Sunday, May 10th, you guessed it, it will be Mother's Day, a day to celebrate your mom. And for today's lesson, we are going to make a Mother's Day card. Let's talk about the items that you will need. You will need construction paper, crayons, markers, or colored pencils, tape or glue, a stapler if you have one, and scissors with adult supervision. Well, who will you make your card for? You can make it for your mom, an aunt, a grandma, or someone else special in your life. Well, today I'm going to make my mom a Mother's Day card. For the first thing, you're going to grab 2 pieces of paper. I'm choosing blue because that's her favorite color. You can choose whatever color you want. You can mix and match it together. It doesn't matter. If you don't have construction paper, you can use plain old white paper too, and that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to staple the edge of the card. If you don't have a stapler, you can use tape. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the pot. You're going to grab your brown paper and you're going to draw 2 diagonal lines. Start at the edge and come up and then go back down and draw another diagonal line. You're going to connect the end of the lines together with one long line. Then you're going to grab your scissors and you're going to cut that out. And now you have a pot. Grab your marker and we're going to write something across the top of this pot. We're going to write, my mom is ... Now, if you know Braille, because I have a Brailler here, you could Braille it, just like I did here. And I brailled, my mom is ... The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the stems. So grab that green piece of paper. You can use the white and then you would have to color in. We're going to trace our hand. So put your hand flat on the paper, spread out your fingers, and you're going to trace. If you can't trace, grab an uncle or a dad, your big brother or big sister, someone to help you. And you're going to go all the way around your hand. And after you trace your hand, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut around it. Just like this. And you keep cutting until you're done. Okay, I already have one finished for us. There we go. The next thing we need are flowers. I'm going to show you 2 ways to make flowers. I'm going to make the one I called a cloud flower first. I'm just going to make a cloud. Some curvy lines connected all together. Just like that. And then you would take your scissors and cut around it. Or you can make a tulip. Here's an easy way to make a tulip. We're going to start down here at the edge. We're going to draw a line going up, 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 and then we're going to curve it, and we're going to go down to the end. And then I'm going to make some diagonal lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's your tulip. And you would cut around that and cut that out. You need 5 flowers. If you can't make those, you can just make a simple one and it can just be round. There you go. Go ahead and pick which type of flower you want to make for your Mother's Day card. So you should have 5 flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's think. We want to write some words on these flowers. My mom is. Well, what makes your mom special? So think for a minute. Well, you might have said loving. And you can go ahead and write that down. L-O-V-I-N-G. Or you could braille it. Whatever works for you. The next word is kind. K-I-N-D. Kind. And we have that one brailled too. The next word is fun. Maybe your mom is fun. F-U-N. Fun. And here's the braille. Sweet. S-W-E-E-T. Sweet. And again in braille. And our last word, caring. C-A-R-I-N-G. And again, I brailled it. So next we're going to glue everything on. I'm going to start with my hand first. And I'm going to use dots for the glue. Place that in the middle and pat it down. Next I'm going to take my pot. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to put 4 dots on. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to go at the bottom. And then you're going to glue your flowers on. I'm going to put 1 dot of glue in the center. That's 2. The 3rd flower. The 4th flower. And the 5th flower. And there is the front of your card. Next, we have to write inside the card. What will we write? So we're going to write a letter, and we need to start with dear. Capital D, E, A, R. Dear who? Well, whoever you wrote your card for. I'm going to write write mom, but if you made it for your aunt, you would say dear aunt, or dear grandma, dear mom, and you're gonna put a comma after mom. Then we're gonna write Happy Mother's Day. Capital H, A, P, P, Y, finger space, mothers, M, capital, O, T, H, E, R, apostrophe, S, and then day, capital D, A, Y. And I'm excited about celebrating my mom, so I'm gonna put an exclamation point. And then we're gonna end our letter. And we're gonna write love. That's right, a capital L, O, V, E, comma, and then you would write your name. Love, and then your name. So it looks like this. And there you have it. Your Mother's Day card is finished. So I hope you enjoyed working with me today, making a Mother's Day card. And I hope that this weekend you celebrate your mom, your grandma, your aunt, or whoever special in your life. Now let's see what Miss Hefferman has planned for you next.
Thanks, Miss Halsick. Hello, everyone. My name is Miss Heffernan, and I am a teacher at Riverside. Today I'm going to show you how to make a wreath that you can give as a gift for your mother or guardian for a Mother's Day present. The first thing we're going to need out is our supplies. Our first supply is going to be a paper plate. Our next supply is going to be scissors. We need scissors to help us cut. Then we're going to need glue. You can use regular liquid glue or a glue stick. We are going to need cupcake liners. It's the paper that goes inside for cupcakes. And you can have the mini ones or the regular size ones. And it's going to be important to have green. So if you only have white or a certain color, you could always color those in with markers if you need them. We're going to need green markers or green paint. Or you could even use a green crayon. This is going to be to color in our wreath on our paper plate, and we'll use it for our leaves on our plate. And the last thing we need is ribbon. I have tulle just because that's what I had in my house, so any type of ribbon to help you hang your wreath. So when it's all finished, it'll be able to hang up nicely on a window or a door in your house. Once you have all your supplies ready, our first step is going to be to take our paper plate and our scissors. So we need our paper plate and our scissors. First thing you're going to do is hold up your paper plate and you're going to fold it in half. And see how I'm creasing my paper plate just so that I make sure it stays folded. And if your paper plate's thick like mine is, or you have a hard time cutting or using big scissors, you might need an adult to help you with this step. So after our paper plate is folded, you can kind of see this light half circle, and we're going to cut along that light half circle line. If it'll help you, you could take your green marker and trace it to help you see the lines you're cutting on. So once you're ready to cut, or you have an adult to help you cut, You're just gonna cut right along that half circle. And it's okay if you have to pinch down your plate to help you cut. Okay, so once my half circle is cut up, I'm gonna open up my plate, and you can see how this is the start of a wreath. If you're using a white plate, the next step is going to be to color your plate in. So I have a green paint marker, and I'm gonna color as much as I can green. My white plate is mostly colored green, which is okay. If you painted yours, make sure you set it aside for a little while so it can dry. This paint dried really quickly, so we're ready to move on. It's okay if there's some white spaces showing, because I'll show you our sample again, and most of the space is covered up. Okay, so the next you need your cupcake liners. And remember, I had regular size cupcakes and mini cupcakes, and I like to mix and match them so that there's some more texture and shapes and sizes of flowers. So all you have to do to make yours is you pick a color. So I'm gonna pick a blue. And you just take out a cupcake liner and you open it up. Open it up so that the white side is going to go down towards your paper. Then you need your glue. And you just want to put a dot of glue. Don't squeeze it too hard because these are really light. They'll stick easily. And you put your flower right on your wreath. Okay, so you can see I have my first flower on there. And I think I like to add a white middle to my flower. So I'm gonna layer it with a mini cupcake liner. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna put a dot of glue, just a dot on top of the blue, and then press my mini cupcake liner right onto it. Okay, so you can see how I have my first flower made. I'm gonna do a second one, and I think I'm gonna make this one purple. And I actually like to have my flowers, you don't have to do this, but I kind of like some of my flowers to be different sizes. So I'm gonna take my purple cupcake liner and I'm gonna trim it, which means cut the edges. So I'm just gonna cut the edges a little bit so that this is a bit smaller, the purple flower. And then I place my dot of glue and I put my purple flower. And you kind of have to flip up the edges so that your flowers fit next to each other. And I think I'm gonna leave this one plain purple. So I just finished gluing all my flowers and leaves down, and I ended up using all the big cupcake liners. So I think this looks a little simple in the middle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my green marker from before and I'm just gonna add some dots inside my flowers. So you're gonna take a ribbon that you have in your house or something to help you hang up. Like I said earlier, I had some tulle. And I'm just gonna cut it to see how long I think this should hang. So I'm gonna put this on my front door and I'm gonna just kind of measure it out by looking. And I would say that's a little over a foot, which means 12 inches. And I'm just gonna cut it. And then I can glue this tool down because it's light, but some people might need to use tape. So my glue dried on my ribbon, and I actually did have to secure it with a tiny bit of tape, just one small strip. You can see that you could hang this wreath. So this is the wreath on my door. I hope you enjoyed making it as much as I did, and whoever is gonna get this Mother's Day gift is really gonna love it. Now it's time to send to Miss Hatcher for another gift. Bye.
Hi, I'm Miss Hatcher from Mary Bethune School, And today we are going to be making a Mother's Day coupon book. So what we're going to need is any construction paper, any type of paper you have at home, colored pencils, crayons, markers, scissors, and either a stapler or tape. It doesn't matter. I got all my stuff at the Dollar Tree. And so some of the things we're going to be looking at in making the coupon book are different chores you could do for your moms or your grandmas or your aunties, whoever you stay with. And so some of the things that we're going to talk about are making your bed, taking out trash, folding laundry, sweeping the floor, washing dishes, cleaning the table, cleaning up your toys, helping cook a meal, washing the car, or feeding the pet. And so that you get to choose whichever ones you would like to put in your coupon book. Nobody's coupon book is going to look the same. So what I did is the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of construction paper. You're going to fold it in half. And you have the corners touch, and then fold it. And then you're going to take this piece and fold it in to the center where you already creased it on that side, and then you're going to do the same on this side. Okay? Once you get that, we are going to cut on the line all the way down on each of the lines, and then you're going to have enough for your coupon book. Now you can make your choice. You can do 3 chores, or you can get another piece of paper and you can a different color or the same color, and you can do 7 chores. And if you want to get real creative and busy for your mom, you can do a whole nother piece too and have 11 chores. But for this class, we are just going to do 7 chores. Okay, and so what we'll do while we are putting these together is that a couple of the chores I'll demonstrate for you so that if you don't know how to do them, you'll be able to help out at home. Okay, and what I like to do, since I have 2 different colors, is that I like to mix them up. And so I put one color and then the other color. So what you're going to do first is you're going to take the top one, that's going to be your cover page. And on the cover, it's going to say Mother's Day Coupon Book. So you can get whatever color. Like I said, you can use markers, crayons, colored pencils, whatever you have at home. Even if you just have a pencil or a pen, that would be fine. And you're just going to write this Mother's Day Coupon Book on the top page. And if you'd like, you can draw pictures of flowers. On my example that I already did, I drew some flowers on the top page. You're welcome to do the same thing. And then on each page, you're going to choose a chore that you're going to do for your mom, your auntie, your granny. And the first thing you're going to write is good for. Because when you use a coupon, it tells you what the coupon is good for. So I'm going to write good for. And the first one I'll choose is make my bed. So when you turn in this coupon, or your mom or granny or auntie turn in this coupon, that means you get to make your bed. Okay? And then the next one I'll do is I'm going to do fold laundry, because I would love if my sons folded laundry. So I say good for folding laundry. And I wrote that here. I'm going to put that on my coupon book. And just to show you what I mean by folding laundry, it's real simple. As soon as, if you get towels that come out of the dryer, what you want to do is you want to take the towel. You fold it over so the ends are touching. You shake it down so that all the wrinkles are out. Then you're going to fold it again so that they're touching. You straighten it all out. And then you just fold it in half. And there you have your folded towel. You can also do it for the washcloth. You're going to fold it in half and then fold it in half again. And they're all set to be put away. And I'll do one last one. No, I have two more here. So you're going to fill in all of your papers. And we can take a close-up of the chores that you have here. Remember, you can make your bed, take out the trash, fold laundry, sweep the floor, wash dishes, clean the table, clean up your toys, help cook, wash your car, or feed a pet. So this one, I will say, help cook. And that is what my son has been doing during this whole stay-at-home. He's been helping me cook. And it's been very nice. Okay, and then my last one will be good for, let's do clean the table. You can do that after you eat dinner or before you eat dinner. It's always nice to wipe up and clean up after yourself. So once you have all your coupons together, you're going to put them all in order and make sure they're all facing the same way. And you click them down to the end. And then this is where, if you have a stapler at home, you can staple the two ends together. If you don't have a stapler at home and you have a piece of tape, you can just take the tape and make a tape and tape it at the end. And then when you give your mom, your auntie, or your granny your coupon book, they'll be able to open it up on Mother's Day and say, oh, good for making my bed. And they can give you your coupon and you can go and make your bed or fold laundry or whatever the chores that you chose. I hope everybody is staying healthy and safe. And right now I'm going to send you outside with Miss Lasley.
Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. Lasley and I'm an intervention specialist at Riverside School, and this is my daughter, and she's going to be helping today. I heard that Miss Hatcher gave you a whole bunch of great ideas of what you can do for your mother on Mother's Day. So I thought that I can maybe add or give you some more ideas of what you could do for your mom on Mother's Day, but by enjoying this beautiful weather. So today I'm going to show you how to wash your mom's car. The first thing that you need to do is make sure that you get permission from one of the adults in your household to make sure that it's okay to wash your mom's car. The second thing I need you to do is make sure that all the windows are rolled up in the car, because you do not want to upset Mom on Mom's Day by getting the inside wet. So before we begin, I have to go over some supplies you'll need to be able to wash your car. The first thing that you're going to need is a hose connected to water. You're going to need a bucket. You're going to need car wash soap. You're going to need a soft cloth to be able to wash your car. This is actually a washing mitt, a car washing mitt that you can wear. And then you're going to need a whole bunch of dry towels. I bought these towels at the store. They're very soft, but you can also use some rags that you have laying around the house to help you dry the car. Okay, you ready? Okay, so there's going to be a couple steps you're going to do, you're going to take when you're going to wash the car. And Al's holding all those for us. The first thing that you're going to do is you are going to rinse the car. Oh, you hear my dog? She wants to rinse, I guess. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to rinse the car. The second thing you're going to do is then you're going to wash the car with soap. You are then going to rinse that soap off the car. And then after rinsing it, you're going to dry the car off. Okay? So what's the first thing we're going to do, Elle?
Rinse.
And then we're going to
Wash.
and then we're going to
Rinse.
and then what's the last thing we're going to do?
Dry.
Awesome. So we could go put that away. While she's putting that away, I'm going to show you how to put the soap in the bucket and then make suds out of it. So you're going to take the soap, you're going to pour a little bit into the bucket. You're going to put the hose in the bucket, so when you turn it on, the water stays in the bucket. And then you're going to make sure that it suds up. All those white bubbles, those are called suds. We want it to sud up. So we want to fill the water all the way close to the top of the bucket. Elle, do you remember the first thing we have to do to the car before we begin?
You have to rinse it.
Why do you think we have to rinse the car? You don't know. Okay, well, we have to rinse the car. You see all the, back away so everyone can see, all the dirt on the car. We have to rinse, try to rinse off as much dirt as possible before we start, okay? So, we're going to aim the hose at the car, and when you rinse the car, you start from the top and you go down. So all the dirt comes down, goes down off the car. What was the second step washing the car? Good, we're gonna wash the car. So I am going to put the mitt on, and I'm going to dunk my hand into the sudsy water. And the same thing as rinsing the car, you have to wash the car from the top down. So you go from the top. Okay, so while I'm doing that, I'm going to give Elle another towel, and she's going to actually do the tires. Okay, she's going to show you how to do the tires. So while I'm washing the rest of the car, she's going to do the tires. Washcloth that back. Okay, so we already rinsed the car. We washed the car. What's the third thing we have to do? Not wash it again. We have to. Not dry yet. We have to rinse it. And remember, when we rinse it, we have to go from the top to the bottom. And what's the last thing we have to do? Good. So you have to get your dry towels off. And the same thing, you start from the top and you work down. So Elle's going to get the front of the car, and I'm going to start at the back of the car. Make sure when you dry the car, you get all the water off, because if you don't get all the water off, it'll create spots on the car, which doesn't look too nice when it's all said and done. And make sure that the windows get all nice and dry, including the rear view mirror. Good. Okay, so let's just review what we did. I only did half the car because we're going to be running out of time. But what was the first thing that we had to do when we washed the car? We had to rinse the car to make sure that all the dirt came off. And then after rinsing the car, we washed the car. We washed it, make sure all the suds get on it. After we washed the car, we had to rinse all those suds off the car again. And then right away, what did we have to do? We had to dry the car so it didn't get any spots on it. We are done washing this car. We just need to finish the other half of it. But I'm going to turn you back to the kitchen where Miss Araj has a really, really great lunch or dinner idea that you can do for your mom. Happy Mother's Day.
Good morning. My name is Lisa Araj, and I'm a teacher at Charles Mooney School in Cleveland. This Sunday is Mother's Day, so we're going to be giving our moms a much-needed break in the kitchen, and we're going to make them pizza for Mother's Day. We're going to make one cheese pizza and one pepperoni pizza. As you can see, I have my hair up and away from my face because I don't want to get any hair in the food that we're preparing. And then before I talk about the ingredients that we need for our pizza, I'm going to wash my hands because whenever we cook, we want to make sure that we have clean, well-prepared hands that are going to touch our food. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to turn my water on to lukewarm. I'm going to put both of my hands under the water. I need at least 1 to 2 pumps of soap. I am going to rub my palms together vigorously. Then I'm going to get the backs of my hands, making sure to get in between my fingers. And then I also want to make sure that I'm getting underneath my fingernails. I want to wash my hands for at least 20 seconds. And if you'd like, at home, while you're washing your hands, you can either sing the happy birthday song, you can sing the ABC song, you can count 1 to 20, or you can count backwards from 20. So right now I'm going to wash my hands, or rinse my hands of all the soap, making sure that all the soap is off of my hands. I'm going to turn off my water. I'm going to get a paper towel. And then I'm going to just make sure that my hands are nice and dry before we get started with our ingredients. Throw my paper towel away, making sure not to touch anything else. And then I'm going to talk about the ingredients that we have here. We need 2 pre-made pizza doughs, which are right here on my plate. And they actually come in this kind of package, which you can find in the refrigerated section of your grocery store. We have our pizza cheeses right here, which are provolone and mozzarella. We have our pepperoni, we have our 2 jars of pizza sauce, and over here we have our non-stick cooking spray. So now that we've talked about our pizza ingredients, let's talk about the utensils that we need. We need 2 large baking sheets, which I have right here. And then we're going to need a large spoon. This is going to help us spread our pizza sauce on our crust. We have a rolling pin, which is going to help us roll out the pizza dough. But if you don't have a rolling pin, don't worry about it. We'll just use the palms of our hands to press the pizza dough into the baking sheet. And then when our pizza is done cooking, we're going to need a pizza cutter to cut our pizza. If you don't have a pizza cutter, don't worry about it. You can use a regular knife to cut your pizza. So I have my cooking spray, and I'm just going to shake it up, take off my cap, and I'm going to spray each one of my cookie sheets. And again, this is just so my pizza dough does not stick to my baking sheet. So I'm going to take one of these pre-made pizza crusts and I'm going to place it on my baking sheet. I'm going to unroll it the best that I can. So I'm unrolling it. And then I'm going to start to smooth it out with my hands. And then maybe if I want to use my rolling pin, if you have one, I can start to use my rolling pin. So I'm going to just roll my dough with the rolling pin, if you have one. If you don't have one, it's okay. But I think it's a little easier to use the palms of your hands, so I'm just going to continue to press my pizza crust or my pizza dough to the outer edge of my baking sheet. So I have one done. So it should look like this. And then I'm going to take the other pizza crust and I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the first one. I'm just going to smooth it out as best I can using my fingers and the palms of my hands to smooth it out to the edge of my cookie sheet. Now while I'm doing this, I did preheat the oven to 400 degrees because that's what the directions call for on the pizza crust package. So I just want to make sure that when you're cooking at home that an adult knows that you're using the oven, or that an adult is close by when the oven is going, just because it's really hot. So you definitely want to be safe when you're using the oven, and you want somebody to know that the oven is on and that you're cooking. So preferably if you have an adult nearby, that would be even better, because you don't want to be using the oven without your parents' permission. Okay, so we pretty much have our pizza dough rolled out and smoothed out. And I'm just making sure that there's no holes anywhere in my pizza dough. Because our next step, and this is done, so now you have 2 completed cookie sheets of pizza dough. So we need to pre-bake our pizza dough. So I'm going to put these in the oven for about 8 minutes. And then when these are done cooking, then we'll talk about putting on the sauce, the cheese, and the pepperoni. So let me put these in the oven. And our oven is already preheated, like I said, to 400 degrees. And I'm going to be careful as I'm putting my baking sheets in the oven. I'm going to set my timer for 8 minutes. And then when those come out of the oven, we'll do the rest of our pizza steps. So I hear the timer going off for our pizza crust. So I'm going to put on my oven mitts because my cookie sheets are going to be very hot. Well, first let me turn this off. So I'm going to put on my oven mitts. I'm going to take these out of the oven very carefully and set them over here, and you can see that my crusts are a nice light brown, which is what we want them to look like. I'm still going to keep my oven on because we need to bake them a second time after we put our pizza toppings on our pizza. So being very careful, because I know that these are still hot, the next thing I need to add is our pizza sauce. So I'm going to take 1 jar of pizza sauce. I'm going to put it on my crust. And I'm going to try to get as much sauce as I can out of the jar because I don't want to waste any sauce, and it smells so good already. So I'm just going to take the back of my spoon and I'm going to spread out my pizza sauce on my crust. And I'm going to try to get my sauce as close to the edges as I can without making too much of a mess. But I'm just using the back of that spoon to spread my pizza sauce. And if some goes over the edge, that's okay. It's not a big deal. But you want to definitely distribute the pizza sauce evenly over your crust. So you want like a nice, thin, saucy layer. And I don't want to pick up the pan without my oven mitts because they're still hot. They just came out of the oven. So I'm going to put some more sauce over here. And then I'm going to get my other jar and I'm going to do the same thing with my second pizza. So again, I'm getting as much sauce as I can out of the jar because I don't want to waste it. And then I'll use my spoon, just like I did with the other pizza, to smooth the sauce out. Okay, I'll use the back of my spoon again. Again, I want to evenly spread my sauce all over my pizza crust, getting it as much to the edge as I can. Smoothing it out as I go. And I'm really being careful not to touch the pan because again, it's still hot from coming out of the oven. But I'm just spreading the sauce evenly over my crust. And it smells so good. I know that you can't smell it, but it smells really good. So as you're making your pizza, it's going to smell really good for you too. Okay, so we have our sauce spread on our pizza. And the next step is that we need to take our cheese, and this pizza is just going to be cheese. This pizza will be cheese and pepperoni. So I'm just going to take the cheese and I'm going to sprinkle it over my pizza sauce. And some people like a lot of cheese, some people don't like a lot of cheese. So this is really just a matter of personal preference. You can put as much cheese as you'd like on your pizza. So I'm just sprinkling cheese all over the sauce. And in my bowls, I forgot to mention this earlier, there's 1 package or 2 cups of pizza cheese in each of these bowls. So in case you were wondering. And then I'm just gonna take my fingers and I'm going to spread the cheese out a little bit more evenly. Looks good. And then I'm going to take my other cheese and I'm going to do the same thing. And again, this is just 1 bag of shredded pizza cheese or 2 cups. And again, if you want more pizza cheese, you can add more pizza cheese. If you want less, you can add less. It's really what you and your family like as far as cheese goes on your pizza. Okay, I have my cheese sprinkled on both of my pizzas. And then I'm going to take my plate of pepperoni and I'm going to put some pepperoni on my pizza. Now, I always like to start with the outside edge when I'm putting on my pepperoni. So I kind of make like a picture frame with my pepperoni. And as I said before with the cheese, if you want more pepperoni, you can definitely put as much or as little pepperoni as you would like on your pizza. So again, I'm just going around the outside edge, just like a picture frame, or I'm going around the perimeter of the pizza. Perimeter means outside edge. And I'm just filling in with pepperoni. And it does look like I'm going to have some pepperoni left over, which is okay. Because as I said before, 1 pizza is going to be cheese and the other is going to be cheese and pepperoni. So we finished putting on our pizza toppings. I'm going to put my oven mitts back on and I'm going to put these in the oven to bake for another 10 minutes and then our pizza will be done. So there's 1 pizza and then here's the other. This is the cheese And we'll just pop these in the oven. Close the door. Set the timer for 10 minutes. And then we'll see what they look like when they come out. So as you can see, we pulled our pizzas out of the oven. I'm cutting them. They smell delicious. The cheese is melted, hot, and bubbly. I hope that you had fun cooking with me today. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day to my mom and my sister. And now I'm gonna turn it over to Miss Roach because Miss Roach has a very delicious dessert recipe for us. Take it away, Miss Roach.
Thank you so much, Miss Araj. Good morning, everyone. I am Mrs. Roach. I am a teacher at Lewis Agassiz School, and I am here to follow up your pizza making with another yummy recipe. You already made pizza. Who doesn't love that? But I thought it would be nice for a nice Mother's Day thank you to our moms, aunts, grandmas, stepmoms, caregivers, to make a yummy dessert. So I'm here today to start that with you and show you how to do it. Before we start any recipe, it's very important we remember one very, very, very important thing. And what is that? Yes, hand washing. We need to wash our hands for at least 20 seconds thoroughly and then dry them thoroughly. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that right now. Stop! Be sure to get parent permission before working in the kitchen. Okay, my hands are clean. So we're ready to go ahead with our recipe. Today we're going to be making a delicious banana split recipe. So we need to make sure that when we are making a recipe, we have all the ingredients. The ingredients are all the things that we need to put it together. So we need to go through and make sure we have all those items in the kitchen. Okay? So we need to make sure we have ice cream at home. We need to make sure we have bananas. We will need whipped cream, yummy, yummy. We will need cherries, and we will need sprinkles to go on top. We're also going to need some tools to put our recipe together. So we need to make sure before we do this that we have a bowl. We are going to need an ice cream scooper if you have one. If you don't, you can just use a regular spoon. We'll need another spoon. We'll need a butter knife, and that's about it. Okay, so we have all of our ingredients, we have all of our tools, our hands are clean. We are ready for step 2. We are going to put 2 scoops of ice cream in a bowl, and I have a pro tip here for you. I have my scooper and some hot water so that it's easier to scoop. This is already a little bit melty, it's been out, so here's 1 scoop, whoop, and here's another scoop. That's 2 scoops of ice cream for our bowl. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to peel our banana. We're going to take it from the top, peel it back. You might need a grown-up's help. We're going to peel this down. We're going to peel another section down. We're going to put it right on top. Woo. All right. And I like to make a slit in my banana with my butter knife. Okay. Ooh, I better hurry. My ice cream's melting. Next, I need my whipped cream. Shake it a little bit. Press on the side. My daughter's like a lot of whipped cream. That's a lot of whipped cream for our banana split. I'm going to top it with some sprinkles. Just a little bit. Okay. And we're ready for the next step. The last step is to put some cherries on top. And I'm going to get the juice off the cherries. I'm going to put 1. I'll put 2 to make it look good. There, our cherries are on top. The last thing to do, and we say this in my classroom a lot, is eat and enjoy. Make sure that you share this with whoever you made it for, your mom, your grandma, your aunt, stepmom, caregiver. Eat and enjoy. I really hope you enjoyed making this recipe with me today. I know I enjoyed making it with you. I do want to remind you, whenever you're doing anything in the kitchen or really anything at home, it's really important to clean up afterwards. I know I don't like messes in my kitchen, and I'm sure your families don't either, especially if you're doing this for someone on Mother's Day. You really don't want to leave a mess, so make sure you clean the kitchen, and remember to put that ice cream back in the freezer, otherwise it will melt for sure. Okay, everybody, I would love to hear from you. I have some questions for you. I would love to know, do you usually celebrate Mother's Day? If so, how do you celebrate? Not everybody celebrates Mother's Day, but those of you that do you have any traditions that you do in your family, things that you usually do each year? I know in my family we usually celebrate a certain way. Obviously this year we can't, we're under quarantine. I'm gonna have to be very creative and do something super special for my mom and my mother-in-law and all the moms in my life that I love. But I'll think of something. Another question I have for you is, do you have any special family recipes that just your family makes, that you look forward to making, that you really, really love? I'd love to know that. Another question I have, and this is something I talk about in my classroom all the time. We do recipes and we always follow it up with a review. What could be added to make this recipe better? I know that if my daughters were making this, they would add some kind of chocolate. I don't know, chocolate chips, they would add chocolate sauce, they would add some kind of hot fudge something. But our recipe, it didn't call for it, so we didn't use it. But what would you add if you wanted to make this recipe better? Another question I have, and we ask this in the classroom a lot too, is what ingredients could you use instead of those listed? Hey, listen, we're in a quarantine. We don't have all the supplies in our kitchens that we want. So if we didn't have certain ingredients, what could we use? I know we mentioned pudding earlier, like if you didn't have ice cream, maybe could you use pudding or yogurt or something, or some kind of fruit instead of the cherries on top. I would say this though, I think that no matter what, you probably should have a banana since it's a banana split recipe. But you could substitute other ingredients if you didn't have the others. So if you have answers to any of these questions, or if you have any questions for me, I would love, love, love to hear from you. You can email me at melena.roach@clevelandmetroschools.org. I would love to hear from you. Stay safe, everyone.